In this unit, we will be learning about functions. And functions is a very detailed topic, but today's lesson is strictly going to be discussing function notation, which is a much simpler topic. Essentially, it is just substitution, and then we need to follow the order of operations to simplify. So before we can actually discuss an example, let's just talk about what function notation is. So if we think about the equation, y equals 2x minus 7. In a function, this notation, and the way that we read this is we say f of x. So let me write that down so we can see it. F of x, that's how we say it. Okay, and that notation, f of x, that would act in place of the y. So up here we had y equals. Down here in function notation, f of x replaces what was the y up above. That's the only difference in terms of the way the equation looks. When an equation is written in function notation, oftentimes we're asked to evaluate the function at a certain value of x. And so in this example, the one we're going to practice, we're being asked, we have the same function that we looked at on the previous page, and we're being asked to find f of 5. So we would read that the same way. Here we said f of x. Here, instead of an x, there's a 5 in those little parentheses, so we say f of 5. When we're asked to evaluate that, what they're asking us to do is substitute the number 5 in place of x into our equation. So we're going to put a 5 right here. Okay, so we're going to be evaluating f of 5. And the first step is to simply substitute the 5 in place of the x. And we know here this is 2 times x, so this is going to be 2 times 5. And then the important thing here is we need to make sure that we remember order of operations. We need to make sure we follow PEMDAS. So we have subtraction and we have multiplication. We need to multiply first. So f of 5 equals 2 times 5 gives us 10. We bring down the minus 7. And we finish simplifying, and so we get f of 5 equals 3. So all of the work that we've just done right here, this is not new. This is substitution and PEMDAS, order of operations. What's new is the way that the information is given to us. So they give us an equation written in function notation, and the way they're going to ask the question is it's going to say find f of 5. And what you need to know is that find f of 5 means I have to take that number 5 and I have to plug it in wherever I see an x. And then the rest of this work is work that we have already talked about earlier this year. Okay, we're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to give you some time to practice some additional examples on your own. So this function is a little bit more complicated. It says f of x equals x squared plus 4 minus 3x. Question A is asking us to find f of 2. So normally, if you recall, this is written with f, and then instead of a number, we have an x inside those parentheses. If there is a number inside those parentheses, we're taking that number and we're substituting. So if we're going to find f of 2, we're going to copy this function exactly, but wherever we see an x, we're going to substitute the number 2. So we're going to have 2 squared plus 4 minus 3 times 2. So we've substituted. We have no more x's over on the right side of that equation. We have 2's in place of them. And now we have to evaluate it. We have to follow the order of operations. So given this expression, we have to do exponents first. So f of 2 equals 2 to the second power is 4 plus 4 minus 3 times 2. Remember, as we're doing PEMDAS, we just do whatever step we're on and then bring everything else down. Now we have addition, we have subtraction, and we have multiplication. The next thing I must do is multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. And again, remember, everything else we copy down. So f of 2 equals, and I'm getting closer, now I have addition and subtraction. If those are the only operations that I have in my problem, remember that we must go from left to right. to finish this. So 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. So f of 2 equals 2. And that would be your answer if you are asked to evaluate or find f of 2 when given this function up above. What I would like you to do now, as the rest of your homework assignment, is to finish these 3 examples. So if you want to copy them in Note Anytime and do them on your iPad, that's fine. If you want to copy them on a piece of paper and do it that way, that's fine. But these 3, B, C, and D, that is what I'm going to be checking as a homework grade for tomorrow's class.